Yes, good morning everyone. Okay, so 22nd April 2022, let's see which are the important articles from today's The Hindu newspaper. Okay, so look at the first page, we'll see the important development, we'll try to understand the context here. Maldives bans India out campaign. Okay, so officially the government has issued the decree here about completely removing this India out campaign, especially spearheaded by the opposition leader here. So we'll try to find out this what is the particular India out campaign was there, why this India out campaign was there, how it was detrimental to India's interest in Indian Ocean region. From IR section it is important. Okay. Yes, I hope that you are having this follow-up on Jahangir Puri Delhi demolition, let's say, drive also. Supreme Court has intervened. Okay, so this is important development. Earlier we talked about how this affect fundamental rights of the people and especially the international covenants, United Nations or Universal Declaration of Human Rights. All these aspects we discussed in one article. Having the context of that Madhya Pradesh government demolition drive. Now here a similar kind of demolition drive in this week in Delhi after some communal clashes that happened in Jahangirpuri region of New Delhi. Okay, so that is the context. You can take the example here. Now Supreme Court has intervened, and at the same time even Supreme Court had given orders to maintain the status quo. Even after that, for 1 hour the demolition drive continued. So it is violation of rule of law. We can say what Supreme Court will take action in this case will have follow up here. Okay, so we'll see what Supreme Court says in future about this. Now you can see that photograph. UK Prime Minister visited Gandhi Ashram at Sabarmati. Okay, so he became the first UK Prime Minister or British Prime Minister to visit Gandhi Ashram. Okay, these developments. And yes, we can say next article is there specifically how different, let's say, visits by UK Prime Minister in Gujarat. Okay, outcome of that visit we will try to find out from IR section. Now moving on, directly come to page number 8, editorial page. Very good article written by former Prime Minister Mr. Manmohan Singh. This is India's moment of reckoning. Okay, and in this article he is explaining how India can play important role in the new global order that is being reshaped because of this Ukraine-Russia war that is going on. Okay, so in first part it is having the context of Ukraine-Russia war, and in second part it is explaining the present stand that India is having of non-alignment or maintaining strategic autonomy. At the same time, how it is impacting the let's say the bilateral trade with Russia in terms of importing crude oil at concessional rate, how it is not a prudent economic policy in long term. See, he is himself economist, so that's why his views are important. Okay, so we'll try to find out why he is saying that it is not good in long term. At the same time, in the end, he is also mentioning how social harmony in the country is very important, let's say, criteria for overall economic development of the country. Okay, so all these points are relevant to our GS2 paper, IR section, essay paper also, GS3 paper, economy part also. Okay. Fine. On left hand side there is editorial, dangerous deceptions. Although the article is not having that much, let's say, relevant inputs, in the first part it is talking about the Jahangir Puri incident and the Supreme Court intervention. That aspect just now I have discussed in the first page itself. Okay. And in second part it is talking, let's say, political aspects related to the BJP ruled parties or the government, how it is taking some kind of communal stance or communal actions, and why Supreme Court should take a strong stand against such kind of divisive forces. Okay, so fine, that is fine. Let's see what Supreme Court says in future about it. See, on page number 9, data point, heat wave may curtail wheat export. So this is unique point because the April month, the harvest month, is experiencing some kind of excess temperatures throughout the country, especially in northern India. Okay, and that is impacting wheat arrivals in the mandis, Punjab mandis. Okay, so it may take the toll on overall wheat production in the country and overall wheat exports also. That is what the government of India is at present focusing on. ठीक है, wheat exports के लिए तो कैसे geographical aspects जो है वो impact करते हैं overall agriculture produce पे. So ये सारे और climate change. Okay, that aspect is also involved here. So what you can do, some facts are mentioned here related to overall wheat production and how it is impacting this temperature changes in April month, how they are impacting the wheat production in Punjab specifically. Fine, on text and context page, the Hindi debate. Okay, so you can see the maps given here. Okay, different maps related to the Hindi speaking population or different regional language speaking population, and those facts can be taken for as an input for your essay paper. Okay, because we talked about this Hindi debate for let's say national education policies, the 3 language formula was there at that time also. Recently Union Home Minister had given that statement that Hindi should replace English as a link language. ये भी news में था, right? So from that context, this article or say the data can be taken. We can use that data in our answers. Okay. See, there is daily quiz, and today Earth Day is being observed, right? तो Earth के बारे में या Earth Day के बारे में वहाँ पे उन्होंने questions पूछे हैं. And one small question we can address here, that about 200 million years ago, supercontinent Pangaea split into 2 large land masses that then fragmented into present day continents. What were the land masses? th standard NCERT. Pangaea broke into 2 land masses. Yes. Laurasia on the north, Gondwana land on the south. Okay, and Tethys Sea separated them. Okay, Pangaea was the supercontinent and Panthalassa was super water body, the remaining water body. ठीक है? तो एक revision kind of thing था, वहाँ पे आपको पता होना चाहिए. Fine. On page number 12, yes, Boris Johnson starts India visit from Gujarat. So we'll take a brief follow up on the outcome of this visit. Okay, क्या क्या उन्होंने visit किया हुआ है, and also we can expect today or tomorrow some announcement regarding the business and investment from UK into India. Okay, on bottom side, Prime Minister asks civil servants to prioritize nation first. So he was speaking on the celebrations of Civil Service Day. Okay, so 21st April yesterday we celebrated Civil Service Day. So on that occasion, Prime Minister was talking here, and he, let's say, the statement that has been given, we'll try to take input here from ethics perspective. GS4 paper, right? So we know that civil services values is part of our syllabus. Along with that, we can take input, directly write this kind of statement as a part of conclusion whenever the civil servants related let's say question is there in ethics paper. ठीक है, तो we'll try to find out what Prime Minister said about it. Then, yes, on page number 14, okay, so fine, that is, yes. On page number 16, Union Minister Gadkari urges voluntary EV recalls following explosions. So you may have come across the news of explosion of electric vehicles, especially scooters. है ना? So recent news regarding that is in Telangana, 80-year-old person died because of explosion of electric vehicle while charging. So several instances have happened, and that's why the government is looking into the inquiry also, and expert panel, inquiry by the expert panel, and also the union minister has urged these manufacturers to, voluntarily recall all those electric vehicles from the showrooms. If they are not recalled, the government may take the strong action. Okay, this is the statement. Fine. Also on bottom side, 3 key states said to plan coal imports to plug shortages. So in recent times we are facing, or some of the states are facing the shortage of coal. Okay, and the major states like Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu and Gujarat, they are going to import the coal. Okay, so to let's say satisfy their demands. At present, you should know that we are trying to shift towards cleaner sources of fuel, but increasing prices of crude oil, natural gas, which are comparatively, we can say, especially natural gas, the cleaner fuel. So increasing prices is deterring India's shift from coal to the cleaner sources. Okay, so this was the view given by our finance minister recently. Okay, so you should know the context, and you should also know the background. In 2021 Glasgow summit, all countries together had decided to phase down the coal-fired power plants or use of coal for power production. ठीक है, तो ये एस्पेक्ट भी आपको पता होना चाहिए. Fine. So these are the important developments. Let's discuss them. This is India's moment of reckoning. So this article written by former Prime Minister Mr. Manmohan Singh, and he is, the context of this article is again Ukraine-Russia war and changes that are happening in global order. So yes, first statement is talking about the violence, human rights violations that are happening regardless of provocation and causes. However justifiable they may seem to be, violence and consequent loss of human lives are deeply regrettable and avoidable. Such kind of statements can be written in essay paper. Okay. Russia-Ukraine conflict is reshaping the world order. Let's understand here the context, especially, after the Cold War era. It was felt that all countries, when they are integrating their economy and having the common currency for the transaction, like for example US dollar, along with that the financial payment systems across the countries, the established system was there. Now this is being destabilized. And that's why we can say that this is being called as a reshaping of the world order. It was, felt that at that time, when the countries or the economies will be integrated into the world economy, it was felt that they will be interdependent and it will act as a deterrence for any kind of provocation or any violence or war, aggression. Okay, this wisdom is actually, disturbed here. This wisdom is disturbed, and that's why we are experiencing such kind of reshaping of the world order. Now, the global village is not just an academic term but lived reality.
Sir, reshaping the world order here is basically linked to economic terms.
Yes. Yes. We are talking about world order in terms of economic as well as geopolitical terms. Yes. And they are actually interdependent, no?
Right.
They influence each other. Okay, so yes, of course, the decision of, Russia's invasion of Ukraine is geopolitical, but the impact is economic. So we should understand that. And the conflict is between these two countries, but you can see that the economic impact is throughout the world. Okay. So several examples are mentioned in the article. For example, Egypt at present, who was very much dependent on wheat import from these countries. So it is facing the problem. Same is case with the East European countries, including Germany also. Okay, तो वहाँ पे भी प्रॉब्लम है क्योंकि नेचुरल गैस जो है वहाँ पे कॉस्टली हो गया है, सप्लाई रुक गया है, राइट? So yes, during the winter time especially, the heating through with the help of natural gas is very important aspect of all European countries. And the major supply happens through Russia, so they are facing problem. Even let's say the heat of this war is faced by the automobile sector in US also, because the semiconductor manufacturing, for that purpose the important components that are required like neon gas is there, nickel is required, or for the production of semiconductor, largely that is supplied by Ukraine and Russia. So of course the automobile sector is also facing the problem. Okay, so indirectly we can say the impact is there all throughout the world. That's why we are saying that the global village that was, the lived reality for last 3 decades, now that is being threatened. Okay, so one should understand the term global village. There can be essay topic like this. The meaning you should understand here. Now this global village is basically on the basis of interconnectedness through the means of transport. Then you should also know the financial systems, how they were interconnected through trade and the payment systems. Okay, the common currency, like for example US dollar as a common currency for the payment among the countries. This was established system for last 3 decades. And the coincidence was that India also was integrating into world economy in last 3 decades, and India benefited from that. Okay? Yes. Now today the trade represents significant share of India's GDP, and the bilateral arrangements with these countries like Russia or Ukraine or any country are unsustainable. Let's understand the context here. Before 1990, when Indian economy was closed economy, at that time the share of trade in India's GDP was very less. And that's why the bilateral arrangement at that time we had with Russia, that did not impact the overall economy. But in last 3 decades, as we are integrated into world economy, the share of international trade in GDP has increased manifolds. And that is now going to impact the overall economy. यहाँ पे आपको समझना है कि जो bilateral हम arrangements कर रहे हैं रशिया के साथ में, how it is fruitful in short term but harmful in long term. Let's understand that. If suppose we are having the bilateral trade arrangement, then the Western bloc is not going to be happy. At present, Russia and China, although they are representing one bloc, but they are not India's largely trading partners. If we are talking about largely economic. Yes, for defense that is fine. But the Western bloc is a huge market for India, and the Western bloc is exploring the markets for its finished goods as well as some of the raw material outside Russia-China bloc. And India is very good having the opportunity to increase trade with Western bloc.
So we export more to the Western and we import more from Russia, China.
Yes. Yes, that's why we are saying that we need to have the diversified market. We cannot depend on one particular bloc. Okay, so the writer here is very good insight. He is mentioning that India needs not just non-aligned doctrine for looming new order, जिसको geopolitical aspect हम बोलते हैं, but also non-disruptive geo-economic policy that seeks to maintain the current global economic equilibrium. We should not align economically also through such kind of bilateral trade arrangements. Okay. It is also important for India to adopt the strategic economic self-interest doctrine. You write this in your answers directly, these words. Strategic economic self-interest doctrine within larger paradigm of its non-alignment foreign policy. Because we are, having this neutral stand at present, we are not aligning geopolitically. So within that also we should have strategic economic self-interest doctrine. we should not be under pressure from any one particular bloc or country in deciding economic policies also. In the end, the writer is also talking about the let's say importance of, yes, tell me.
But sir, we just import crude, we import energy for a short term from Russia because just of good concessions
Yes.
provided by the Russia.
Yes.
So it's also kind of self-interest, and we also maintain good relation with the Gulf. So
Yes.
I think it's a better opportunity to purchase from Russia for a time being.
Yes. For time being it is fine, but it should not look as an opportunate moment. Okay, what West is looking at, say considering or viewing this particular bilateral arrangement as an opportunate moment. ठीक है?
But sir, in a bigger picture, in coming time, if we lose West just because of Russia,
Yes.
just because of Russia, then it's not a good.
Yes, that's why we are talking about that the 2+2 meeting. Right now, the 2+2 meeting that has happened. Basically, our leaders may have, let's say, some kind of persuasion to the Western representatives regarding this. Okay, and it should be, independent negotiation. जहाँ पे मतलब किसी भी तरीके का एक alignment नहीं दिखना चाहिए. Right? So, yes, in long term, we cannot lose Western bloc.
Right, sir.
Okay, so that's why any kind of, let's say, strong stand taken by Western bloc led by US against India is not going to be beneficial for India. ये आपको ध्यान रखना है. Yes, of course, the statements given by our external affairs minister बहुत ही अच्छा statement था जब वहाँ पे प्रेस में उन्होंने पूछा था.
Right, sir.
है ना? तो yes, right now it is fine. Right now it is fine that India is importing from Russia, but if suppose in future several kinds of, let's say, human rights violation happens by Russia in Ukraine, and in, let's say, nearby time period, if suppose the peace is not established, then India may have to take certain strong stand. उस टाइम पे तो ये फायदा नहीं है ना इकोनॉमिक वाला. ठीक है? So yes, we will see how these things unfold, and finally social harmony is edifice of economic prosperity. So here the writer is talking about the participation in economy or economic activities by all sections of society. It's very important for economic prosperity, and this will happen when there is social harmony in our society. The social divisions inhibits the participation of all sectors of the society in economy, and this inhibits our economic progress. ठीक है, वो एक ऑब्स्टेकल होता है इकोनॉमिक प्रोग्रेस के लिए. एंड दिस लेसन वी कैन टेक फ्रॉम श्रीलंकन क्राइसिस. हमने ये डिस्कस किया है रिसेंटली. द लेसन्स फ्रॉम श्रीलंका दैट इंडिया कैन लर्न, वन ऑफ द मेजर लेसन इज दिस वन. ठीक है, वहां पे क्या हुआ, जो तमिलियन माइनॉरिटी जो है, द सोशल डिविजन्स among Sinhalese and Tamilian minorities has resulted into lack of economic participation by Tamilian minority in overall economy. उसका long term impact हुआ है श्रीलंकन economy पे. If we are considered here in India, if we are talking about, let's say, minorities or, let's say, different caste, if, let's say, they are not participating in the economy to the fullest potential, then the economic progress will not happen, or the real potential that we are having, the 5 trillion economy and all these things we talk about, it will not be realized, okay, within the time limit or target time period. तो ये बहुत ही जरूरी होता है, ये सारी कंट्रीज के लिए है.
And it leads to policy lapse.
Yes, policy lapse is there, delay हो जाता है, and alienation of any one community. Alienation of any one community is, it is, let's say, threat to peace and stability. और जहाँ पे peace and stability नहीं है, वहाँ पे कोई भी कंट्री में economic progress नहीं होता है. आप कोई भी एग्जाम्पल लीजिए, some of the African countries, some of the Arab countries, okay, you can take this example, and as against to this, you take the example of Scandinavian countries. The peace and stability and the harmony in the society has resulted into economic progress. ठीक है? Yes. Now, moving on Maldives bans India out campaign. Okay, so here the government has come out with the order. Maldivian president issued decree banning India out campaign now led by former President Abdullah Yamin, terming it threat to national security. Okay, terming it threat to national security, stating that the government's policy was to provide freedom of expression and freedom of assembly guaranteed under constitution. However, such kind of India out campaign intends to disrupt the long-standing bilateral relations between India and Maldives, as well as efforts to maintain peace and security in the region. The reason given by such a decree here or the order by the government. The campaign, India Out campaign, accuses the Maldivian government of allowing Indian military presence in the island nation. The government has repeatedly denied it and of being puppet of New Delhi. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे आपको पता होना चाहिए कि at present the ruling dispensation in Maldives it is aligned with India First policy. ठीक है, तो ये भी एक इंडिया के लिए अच्छी बात है. When we talk about India's neighborhood first policy, Maldives is also important country. Okay, at the same time, when we talk about India's Sagar policy, security and growth for all in the region. So Sagar policy is very important aspect of maintaining security, maritime security in Indian Ocean region especially. And Maldives is very important country in Indian Ocean region, which is we can say that the pivot for India in Indian Ocean region. बाकी कंट्रीज जो है ज्यादातर हम देखते हैं कि चाइना का प्रेजेंस है वहां पर. ठीक है, जैसे कि हम देखते हैं श्रीलंका इज देयर और द अदर कंट्रीज अलोंग द अफ्रीकन कोस्ट, ईस्ट अफ्रीकन कोस्ट इज देयर. जैसे डिजिबाउटी पे उनका मिलिट्री बेस है ना. Yes, so along with that, some of the other countries, Chinese presence is increasing, but Maldives is one such country where Indian presence is there, and it is very important aspect. ठीक है, जैसे हम स्ट्रिंग ऑफ पर्ल्स पॉलिसी है उसके अगेंस्ट ये हमारा पॉलिसी काम कर जाता है यहाँ पर. Fine, so you should know what is India Out campaign, why this campaign is there, and you should also know that recently our external affairs minister visited Maldives. From time to time we have come to the rescue of Maldives. Maldives में वो जो एक ही जो water treatment plant था तो उसमें जो crisis हुआ था, India immediately responded. Okay, so from time to time India responds to the natural disasters. कोविड में भी हमने immediately respond किया था मालदीव्स को. ये सारी चीजें हैं. Maldives is also important for India's tourism sector. ठीक है, तो काफी contribution होता है मालदीव्स के लिए.
So we also help in the security cost.
Yes.
We provide
Yes.
6 to 7.
अभी रिसेंटली हमने एक हेलीकॉप्टर दे दिया है उनके कोस्ट गार्ड पुलिस के लिए, है ना. हाँ, तो वो भी एक रिसेंट डेवलपमेंट्स आपको पता होंगे. दिस एक्विजिशन जो है पार्शियली ट्रू है. ठीक है, हम मिलिट्री प्रेजेंस किसी थ्रेट के लिए नहीं दे रहे वहां पर, बट इंडिया इज बिल्डिंग वन एयर स्ट्रिप. ठीक है, मिलिट्री एयर स्ट्रिप, वो एक आइलैंड है वहां पर मालदीव्स का. ठीक है, तो वहां पे इंडियन मिलिट्री का प्रेजेंस है और वहां पे एयर स्ट्रिप भी बांध रहे हैं और मेन जो आइलैंड है उसके साथ में उसको रोड के साथ कनेक्ट भी कर रहे हैं. हाँ, ठीक है, तो उस डेवलपमेंट के लिए वहां पे लोकल कुछ लोग जो है they are resenting this, they are let's say concerned that in future there can be this may result into threat to their security. क्योंकि ये कॉन्फ्लिक्ट मालदीव्स का नहीं है, ये इंडिया चाइना का कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है. ठीक है, कोई भी एक कंट्री जो है बाकी दो कंट्रीज की वजह से क्यों खुद में. हाँ, ठीक है, तो ये कंसर्न है उनका, बट ऑफ कोर्स इंडिया इज नॉट गोइंग टू हैव सच काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स. तो देखते हैं आगे क्या होता है. जस्ट we are having follow up here. Now Gadkari urges voluntary EV recalls following the explosions. Recently there are 2-3 such instances happened where the electric vehicles exploded, the battery systems exploded. Okay, you should know that such instances have happened, and after such instances Union Transport Minister has responded to these instances and has said that companies may take advance action to recall all the defective batches of vehicles immediately, and at the same time you should know that there is, center has constituted an expert panel to inquire into these explosions also. On the basis of, that probe, the ministry also intends to issue guidelines to electric vehicles, including tests for compliances with safety norms as well as number of samples needing to be tested. देखिए, कोई भी एक नई चीज जब शुरू होती है ना, तो ऐसी चीजें होना is nominal thing. The important thing is that how we respond to this situation, whether we tend to neglect them or we tend to, solve these problems. तो यहाँ पे जो है, of course, our transport minister is very active in his work. तो उन्होंने immediately उसका जो है cognizance लिया है, and we can expect that there will be strict actions on this in this field. And of course, this is emerging field. Government is focusing on promoting electric vehicles aggressively in this decade, so as to achieve our targets under Paris Agreement. ठीक है, या जो हमारे NDCs जो है, Nationally Determined Contributions, उसके लिए भी important है. At the same time, the level of pollution that is increasing in the country, उसके लिए भी हम ये shift हो रहे हैं. The dependence on crude oil and petroleum products that is there, उसके लिए भी हम ये shift कर रहे हैं. ठीक है? Yes.
Sir, when we talk about the NDCs, then we talk about COP21, or we should consider the COP26 as we take new targets?
New targets. COP26.
Never about COP26.
Yes, COP26. Okay, new or revised NDCs.
Right, sir.
है ना, revised.
COP21 this time.
No, I am talking about Paris Agreement. COP21 जब मैंने बोला वो Paris Agreement है.
Right, sir.
Basically, these revised NDCs are also to this only, ना? Paris Agreement के लिए.
Therefore,
Yes. Okay, fine. Now, moving on. Yes, Boris Johnson started India visit from Gujarat. He became the first UK Prime Minister to visit Gandhi Ashram at Sabarmati, and at the same time he visited or met Ahmedabad-based industrialist Gautam Adani. So the major industrialist है, वहाँ पे हम we can expect some kind of investment tie-ups with UK companies will happen by the Adani Group companies. ठीक है? At the same time, he flew to Halol, no? Near Vadodara, to visit a new factory set up by leading UK-based JCB company to manufacture machines and equipments. तो ये काफी फेमस हो रहा है, JCB जो है, उनका वीडियो जो है फेमस हो रहा है.
JCB is from UK. That's
हाँ.
why promoting.
और उसके एमनेस्टी इंटरनेशनल ने, एमनेस्टी इंडिया इसको क्रिटिसाइज भी कर रहा है. किस चीज के लिए क्रिटिसाइज कर रहा है?
Just because of in UP, Madhya Pradesh, JCB is a good.
हाँ. Okay, so JCB was used for, that demolition drive. In that demolition drive, human rights violation happened, and on other side, UK Prime Minister is, promoting that company indirectly. Okay, so that's why it was criticized, but that is fine. Then, Halol जो place है, वहाँ पे important refinery है, petroleum refinery. ठीक है, near Vadodara. ये भी आपको पता होना चाहिए. Then on return from Halol, he visited Akshardham Temple and Biotechnology University in Gandhinagar. Also, he is expected to announce major investment and trade in key industries in the country. ठीक है, तो वो भी हमें follow करना है. Yes. Prime Minister asked civil servants to prioritize nation first. So his statement we can directly write in our answer. GS for ethics paper when we talk about civil services values and what civil servants should prioritize in their service. ये सारी चीजें important होती है. Okay, so whenever we are in a system, our prime responsibility is the unity and integrity of the country. There cannot be any compromise. Every decision of ours should be evaluated on its capacity to provide strength to India's unity or country's unity and integrity. So nation first should always inform our decisions. Okay, he said government functionaries should be committed to 3 goals. ऐसे directly answer में लिखिए. ठीक है. bringing a positive change in the life of common people, first thing, taking decisions in the global context, second thing, and strengthening the country's unity and integrity, third thing. ठीक है, अब ये ग्लोबल कॉन्टेक्स्ट वाला जो है ज़्यादातर हम देखते हैं फॉरेन डिप्लोमेट्स के लिए लागू होता है, ओके, एंड पॉलिसी मेकिंग सिविल सर्वेंट जो सेक्रेटरीट लेवल पे होते हैं उनके लिए। ये फर्स्ट वाला जो है हम देखते हैं ग्राउंड लेवल पे जो काम कर रहे हैं सिविल सर्वेंट्स उनके लिए है, राइट, एंड थर्ड वन इज फॉर ऑल, ओके, यस, फाइन।
Taking decision in the global context is, I think, ease of doing business mainly.
सारा जो भी पॉलिसी डिसीजंस हो गए, डोमेस्टिक पॉलिसी डिसीजंस, यस, स्पेशली इन टर्म्स ऑफ बिजनेस एंड इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसीज, you can consider that one also, and foreign policy decisions also, ठीक है।
Sir, what is the basic difference between non-alignment and multilateralism? Non-alignment also promote multilateralism. They are interlinked.
There is fine difference. See, non-alignment as a concept, it emerged as, not aligning and being neutral with the different blocks or multilateral, arrangements. See, we are not aligning or taking any side. That is non-alignment. Okay. So it does not represent any kind of proactiveness. It is neutral aspect. It is neutral aspect. But when we say that, multilateral, what we can say? Multilateralism. Okay, at that time we say that India is reaching out to each and every multilateral arrangement or blocks or these countries.
This is also non-aligned.
No, that is not non-alignment. हम उसके आगे जा रहे हैं, समझो। हमने non-alignment purely sense में कब follow किया था? During Nehru era. During Nehru era. पहले 15 साल में जो है strictly हमने वो follow किया था. Okay, so that was purely non-alignment. And non-alignment concept is largely related to geopolitical aspect. But ये multilateralism वाला जो concept आया है वो economic aspect से आया है. Trade वाला aspect जो है वो लेके आया है. Okay. So all the relations that India is having with all countries, तो वो US के साथ है, रशिया के साथ है, या चाइना के साथ में है, या फिर ऑस्ट्रेलिया के साथ में अभी जो बढ़ रहा है. So basically it is largely the foundation is economy, trade, और उसके बाद में हम geopolitical उसके साथ जोड़ रहे हैं. ठीक है, तो that is having different context, and the proactiveness is the difference factor here. वहाँ पे न्यूट्रल, हमेशा न्यूट्रल ही रहेंगे, ठीक है, हम कुछ कमेंट नहीं करेंगे या हम प्रोएक्टिवली रीच आउट भी नहीं करेंगे इकोनॉमिक टर्म्स में भी, ठीक है। और यहाँ पर हमने जो बोला है तो वो है प्रोएक्टिवली रीचिंग आउट एंड हैविंग गुड रिलेशंस विद ऑल, ये वाला मल्टीलैटरलिज्म, ठीक है। उस टाइम पे जो हमारा फिलोसॉफी था तो वहां पर हमने ये इमेजिन नहीं किया था फ्यूचर में कि द वर्ल्ड विल बी सो मच ग्लोबलाइज्ड, इंटरलिंक्ड विद ईच अदर और इंटरडिपेंडेंट। तो वो हमने इमेजिन नहीं किया था जब नेहरू ने वो जो फिलोसॉफी लाई थी। और उस टाइम पे द वर्ल्ड वाज वेरी मच डिवाइडेड इनटू टू ब्लॉक्स एंड इट वाज थ्रेट टू ओवरऑल ग्लोबल पीस। इसलिए ये बहुत जरूरी था नॉन अलाइनमेंट वाला, ठीक है। यस, धौली कलिंगा महोत्सव एक प्रीलिम्स से रिलेटेड हमने फ्राइडे रिव्यू जो मैगजीन होता है उसके फर्स्ट पेज से ये आर्टिकल लिया है। ओके, सो इट वाज ऑर्गेनाइज्ड बाय ओडिशा टूरिज्म डेवलपमेंट कॉर्पोरेशन एंड ओडिशा डांस एकेडमी। बेसिकली this started as independent program as Dhauli cultural program and Kalinga cultural program, and later on it was merged in 2013. Okay, this is very important, let's say cultural program of Odisha or cultural gathering, we can say, to promote the art as well as culture and heritage. So integration of heritage and art. Why we are saying that? Because it is, it was held at Shanti Vihar at foothills of Dhauli. Okay, so from the heritage perspective, history perspective, Dhauli is important for Odisha. Why? It is being said that it was site for, where the Kalinga war was fought in Odisha. And Kalinga war, during Kalinga war, we know that Ashoka embraced peace. ठीक है, तो वॉर वायलेंस वो बंद हो गया, पीस वहां पे एस्टेब्लिश हुआ. सो फ्रॉम देयर ऑनवर्ड्स वी कैन से दैट द प्रोग्रेस हैपेंड इन दैट रीजन. तो उसकी वजह से उन्होंने क्या किया है, जो गुरु गंगाधर, ही इज द प्रोपोनेंट ऑफ ओडिया डांस, जो कल्चर क्लासिकल डांस फॉर्म जो है वहाँ पे, एंड ही इज ऑल्सो नोटेड पर्सनैलिटी. तो उन्होंने ये फेस्टिवल्स जो है अरेंज करना शुरू किया था वहाँ पे, उस साइड पे. सो ही वांटेड टू ब्रिंग ऑल दिस आर्ट फॉर्म्स बैक एट द हेरिटेज प्लेसेस, ये ट्रेडिशन जो है वहाँ के. तो दैट्स व्हाई इट बिकम्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फेस्टिवल. ऑल्सो द 36-year-old कोनार्क डांस एंड म्यूजिक फेस्टिवल इज हिज ब्रेन चाइल्ड वहाँ पे जो है. Now this festival, during this festival, along with Indian classical dance tradition, he decided to project Odisha's vibrant but marginalized art forms such as Gotipua, Mayurbhanj Chhau dance, Sambalpuri dance, Danda नाट्य, प्रहलाद नाटक, मोगुल तमाशा, घोड़ा नाच, ये जो सारे लोकल आर्ट फॉर्म्स है ओडिशा के, वो भी वहां पे प्रमोट करते हैं. ठीक है. इन स्पेसिफिकली टू दिस मयूरभंज छाऊ डांस आपको पता है, ठीक है, वो झारखंड में भी है और उड़ीसा में भी है, छत्तीसगढ़ में, ये 3 स्टेट्स में ज्यादा फेमस है. गोतीपुआ बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स को नहीं पता होता है. इट इज कंसिडर्ड एज प्रीकर्सर टू द इवोल्यूशन ऑफ ओडिया डांस. ठीक है, ओडिया जो क्लासिकल डांस फॉर्म है उसको प्रीकर्सर बोला जाता है. गोतीपुआ इन लोकल ओडिया लैंग्वेज इज सिंगल बॉय. ठीक है, गोतीपुआ मींस सिंगल बॉय हु इज डांसिंग हियर. ठीक है, तो ये ट्रेडिशन जो है, जो बॉयज डांस करते थे टेम्पल्स के यहाँ पे, ठीक है, तो वो ट्रेडिशन आगे चल के क्लासिकल डांस फॉर्म में कन्वर्ट हुआ है. ओके, सो यू शुड रिमेंबर अबाउट दिस ऑल्सो. गोतीपुआ जो है ओडिशा का है कल्चरल डांस फॉर्म, वहाँ का ट्रेडिशनल डांस फॉर्म जो है. फाइन, सो दिस मच इंफॉर्मेशन इज सफिशिएंट. ऑल्दो ऑन दिस फेस्टिवल यूपीएससी मे नॉट आस्क क्वेश्चन, आई वांटेड टू टेल अबाउट दिस गोतीपुआ डांस फॉर्म हियर. ठीक है, एंड दिस नेम गुरु गंगाधर is associated with Odia classical dance form. Okay, fine. So simple question on this. ऐसे क्वेश्चन आर्ट एंड कल्चर में फ्रेम हो रहे हैं, हिस्ट्री, आर्ट एंड कल्चर. तो दे विल राइट लाइक दिस इन द विथ रेफरेंस टू कल्चर इन इंडिया और आर्ट एंड कल्चर इन इंडिया. गोतीपुआ refers to, is related to. गोतीपुआ टर्म इज यूज्ड इन द कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ, ऐसे वो फ्रेमिंग करते हैं. दो स्टूडेंट्स हु एग्जैक्टली नो दे कैन आंसर इट. ऐसा ही हो रहा है ना आजकल हिस्ट्री और आर्ट एंड कल्चर में. सो दैट्स व्हाई यू शुड नो दैट विच आर डिफरेंट ट्रेडिशनल डांस फॉर्म, ट्रेडिशनल आर्ट फॉर्म्स ऑफ डिफरेंट स्टेट्स. ठीक है, उसको बार बार रिवाइज करिए प्रीलिम्स के लिए. फाइन, सो इट इज ट्रेडिशनल डांस फॉर्म इन ओडिशा. ओके, yes, any question? Okay, fine, let us stop.